So, this movie, wow. I did say that I was going to review it in another video that I put out. I just finished watching it. I actually cried. That's freaking weird for a low budget movie, but good God. I'm glad that I watched it. All right. I'm actually really flabbergasted right now that I actually enjoyed it. Yes, the acting wasn't the best, but the main character, the dinosaur models, of course, the CGI was subpar, but it was, considering that it's a low budget movie, a lot better than the stuff we usually see. But it was actually a good premise, and it was actually a decent movie. The ending was filmed very nicely, and that's honestly what I love the best. And I also love the main character, Tucker. There's so many questions about Jurassic Games that I have to ask, like the ethics of this whole thing and how the okay, so there are innocent people in here. Obviously, there are people thrown in the game. The contestants are people who have killed people or have done stuff, but do they really deserve this? And to some, it may be justice, because you have to consider that some of these people have killed the loved ones of others, and not in very nice ways either. But then you have situations like Tucker, the main character, where he was completely innocent. So Ryan Merriman plays the host, and he's actually really good. He's played in a few, movies, not really anything well known, but he's played in some TV shows too, like Pretty Little Liars. And he's actually a decent actor. He worked for the host. So him being in the show kind of helped make it what it was. And then we have Tucker. Andrew Tucker was thrown into this game, for want of a better word, because he was convicted of murdering his wife, which we find out later on that he was completely innocent of. These people are given a chance. There's 10 contestants, and if they make it through all of the challenges, by the end, whoever is the last one standing, just like the Hunger Games, they win their freedom. So they will no longer have a death sentence, and they can go back out in society and live free. Like, that would ever be freedom anyway, because everyone already knows you're a killer and you didn't get justice. Well, in their minds, that would have been justice, them surviving. But to the victims of that person that runs free, it's really not fair, is it? So everyone has to survive these dinosaurs, but the woman, Joy, can't stand her, played by Katie Burdess. She actually does a decent job too, although it's a little bit over-dramatized, but she does a decent job being the villain. She's just crazy. But like Harlequin from Suicide Squad, that's basically this chick. Then we have Erica Daly, who plays as Laura, and she was actually a decent actor too, considering the movie that she's in. She hasn't really played a lot of stuff, but she did a fair job here. And she's one of the advocates of people not being used or tortured for people's entertainment in the games. And I can kind of understand where she's coming from, because even though these people have done horrible things, torturing them on live television is kind of putting us back in the Stone Ages, and it's making us no better than, those people. So she wants to infiltrate the incorporation and kill the host so that they can stop the games. But what she doesn't realize is that the whole premise of the games is a lot bigger than just her. It's just like the Hunger Games, or like the situation in Game of Thrones where they wanted to do away with the slave fights or whatever they were doing. But it's not the leaders that really had control over this, it was the people. And they prove this near the end of the movie when she did all of that, gave her life to save Tucker, and they were bringing back the games bigger and better than they were before. The theme of this is you cannot really quell people's thirst for blood. That theme was shown through Joy, the villain, and it's shown through the people who want the games. We see some of the contestants work together, like the Asian guy. I did not expect him to die, because wasn't he with Tucker when he held him up? So how is it that he's all of a sudden by himself being cornered by the raptors? However, he went down like a boss before the raptors ended up killing him. But even he had the idea that they weren't going to get anywhere unless they worked together, and it made me realize, like, what did he do exactly? Because I think we saw him on television as Laura was watching him, and I'm not really sure what he got convicted of, but it was something that he felt was justified, and he got thrown into a death sentence for it. The only thing that seems to be missing is Laura's motivations. Yes, of course, there are people out there that don't agree with the games in this horror show, but there is no real motivation as to why she feels this way. Of course, you can just say, well, it's wrong, but why? Why does she feel it's wrong? Her feeling it's wrong could be on so many levels. Maybe one of her parents were convicted and they weren't innocent. Maybe she doesn't like the fact that children are now committing crimes because they've become desensitized to people being killed or tortured for fun. There has to be some kind of motivation. And if there was a motivation that was listed in the movie, I totally missed it. This movie also does a great job at getting you to think about the whole premise of this whole Jurassic Games thing. Is this really ethical? These people are going to die anyway, and they've done horrific things, and they had a fair trial and everything, and you say, well, we'll give them a chance to fight for their survival, but we're going to put them in a situation where they'll be chased down and they have to complete these challenges just for the hope that they may go free, but only one of them get the chance to go free, completely absolved of everything, but they would have died anyway. Is it ethical? Now, I guess the part that's a little muddy with the lines is it's not just putting them in the game itself, it's having people find entertainment in it. There's still an element there that's a little bit blurry with the lines because these are still human beings. These are people. They've committed horrible acts, yes. But should we really be reveling in them being tortured and scared to death? Then again, we've watched movies, so many of us, where a bad guy has done horrible things to someone like Joffrey from Game of Thrones. And I'm about to tell you, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones, everyone should have watched it by now, so spoilers or not, whatever. But when Joffrey died the way he did, and when Cersei felt the pain of him dying, that was like a double whammy. It's like, yes, finally. And you're laughing and you're like, ha ha, good for you, Joffrey, as this child's face turns purple and all the different shades of red, and he froths at the mouth as he's having a seizure, dying slowly and tortuously on the ground on his mother's arms. But we're all raising our fists in the air behind our TV screens and pumping, yes, long live the king, my ass, let him die. How is that any different than this? And you could say, well, those are not real people, but, that kind of happens today anyway. The only reason we feel that way about characters like that is because they've caused so much pain to others. So it's only right that we feel some kind of closure or satisfaction seeing it being done to them, seeing justice served. When Cersei was doing the walk of shame, we were so happy when they were throwing crap at her face and stuff. We were so happy. Yet on the other hand, when Cersei was the one dishing out the punishment to a villain that was even worse than her, that caused a lot of pain to other people that we liked, we were cheering her on and laughing at them. So where does the line get drawn? Is this really something that is ethical? And that's a really interesting question that you guys should say, because I can't answer that. Personally, for me, because I've had this happen to me in the past where people have done horrible things to me or people that I love, and I would not want to see them tortured. Yes, justice should be served, and there's a part of me that's like, good, I hope you learn your lesson. But would I want that person to be tortured to death and be laughing at that? No, I wouldn't. Even people who have hurt me very close to me, whether it be intentionally or not, and then they get hurt and they're broken and weak and crying and they've come back to me and told me what happened to them, I felt sorry for them, because when it happens to you, if you're a human with any ounce of humanity in you, you don't want to wish that on another person. You want some level of lesson to be learned, but not for them to be tortured or to be tortured to death. So that's just me personally. There are some other people who may feel differently, and it's not necessarily that those people who actually want to see those people tortured and killed and they want to revel in that, and it's not necessarily that they're wrong either, because if someone skins your mother in front of you and skins your brothers and sisters or your children in front of you and laughs while they're doing it, and then they're thrown in a game like this where they were given a fair chance at life, but then a dinosaur chomps their legs off, I mean, is it really wrong to also laugh when justice is being served? Is that bad? Is that evil? I don't know. So the part that made me cry was near the end when Tucker is fighting for his life, and then the Asian chick comes in and she's like, the game's over. And the guy's like, you're not gonna shoot me, when she tells him to make the T-Rex kill the host when she puts him in, and then she just shoots him. It's like, this woman, she knows exactly what she's about. She was not bluffing. She went in there, she meant business. And the look on her face when she saw the father come out alive, like she was so relieved that an innocent man wasn't going to die. And we're pretty sure that Tucker wasn't the only one. Pretty sure a lot of other innocent people were thrown in there on the dinosaur menu when they were completely innocent of the crimes they were being accused of. And that even happens today. When everything moved in slow motion, I was rejoicing. Because, not just because Tucker was safe and he was going to get to see his kids again, but because this woman sacrificed her life to save him and so many others that would have been thrown in these games unfairly. To be honest, even though this movie is based or heavily inspired off of The Hunger Games, it's a little bit more ethical than The Hunger Games was. The Hunger Games was just cruel because they wanted to show people that they were the most powerful. The Capitol wanted to keep the people subdued. So they kept punishing them every year by taking a select few of their children, which was kind of messed up. But this is actually the host or the people who run the show taking people who are sentenced to death anyway and throwing them in a game to make money, to throw money back in the economy, but by giving them a chance to go free. These are people that committed violent crimes against other people. Even though the host had an actor playing as a wife that fell at the victim of the cannibal, this cannibal that died was still someone who ate somebody else's sister or girlfriend. So throwing him in a game where he has a chance at freedom, but he has a chance also at getting eaten too, and having been done to him what he did to others, is that really, really wrong though? So, barring all the people stuff, what really was interesting was the fight sequence at the end. It wasn't as grandiose as the Jurassic Park fight sequence in Jurassic Park 3, but it was really interesting. And when the host asked the guy, why are the T-Rexes not attacking the humans? The guy, or the creator, I guess, maybe he's one of the engineers that helped designing the game and running it, said that, well, he wanted me to make them as natural as possible as they would have been in the wild, and so Tyrannosaurus Rexes are territorial, and we've never had this many of them in a short space of time within the same vicinity. So the T-Rexes started fighting amongst themselves, which was really cool to see, and it's really cool they implemented that. And that makes me think, do the dinosaurs actually have consciousness? They're AI, but they're working with a level of technology that's a lot more advanced than what we have today. So even though the dinosaurs are digital entities, do they themselves have consciousness, or are they just behaving based on programming? Aside from the CGI looking very obviously like CGI, I do still have to give credit to the dinosaur models because they look beautiful. They don't look very real, but they look a lot better than other low-budget movies do, but they also look like beautiful models. I've seen some Tyrannosaurus Rex CGI models on these low-budget movies, and they freaking look like a spaghetti strap. It just looks horrible, but these dinosaurs actually look like the Walking with Dinosaurs models. They look really cool. Even the pteranodons kind of look like the Jurassic Park models a little bit, but just a faker version of it. Their movements weren't so bad either, so they did a good job with this. Now, the ending was so sad. It was emotional, but it was sad, but it was happy at the same time because the guy got to be reunited with his children. On the other hand, the Jurassic Games are still going on. They make it look as though they're going to have a sequel. They're opening up the possibility of there being one because now the dinosaurs are going to have weapons and whatnot, and it's going to be even more chaotic than it was before. There's just so many questions. Is everyone on death sentence or death row eligible for the game? Apparently, they ask people if they want to take part in the game. They volunteer. So it's not like they were coerced to go in the game. They asked them, look, you're on death row and you're going to die in a week or whatever it is, but you have the chance at surviving if you out of the 10 contestants can beat all the challenges and be the last one standing in the Jurassic Games. It's your choice, or you could just die. They're going to die anyway. You can choose how you go out, and you can choose to take a shot at your freedom. So it's a little bit different. And I don't honestly think that the host I don't think that he should have died. Now, that's just me. But I can see where he's coming from because in his mind, these people deserve it. Would I do something like that? No, I would not. And I certainly wouldn't be laughing over it. But I completely understand where the host is coming from because he's like, these people caused pain to other people. So since they dehumanized other people by killing them in cold blood without any regards of the repercussions or who they're hurting, then I'm not going to see them as humans. I'm going to see them as the animals that they are. So of course I'm going to laugh when the T-Rex chops their heads off or when a plant chomps their groin off. I'm getting really morbid, aren't I? Since he wasn't the overarching leader when it came to the Jurassic Games, I don't think he should have been killed. I get that Laura was trying to prove a point. I completely get where she was coming from, But putting him in the games and getting him killed, I don't think that really helped anything. Honestly, she should have gone about it a different way. What I did like is that he did go out like a boss too.
Okay. All right. Come on, baby, make it good. Let's fucking go!
Well, that was horrible. And the green screen right there was horrible as well. But good darn doggy is that T-Rex. Sexy. The ending sequence was very poignant, and I'm glad that Tucker made it out alive. You could see that his kids just don't care about the games. They're just like, I'm just glad that my dad is innocent. And now, I don't know how they're going to be going on forward, because this guy almost died. An innocent man almost died. So they're going to have to be a lot stricter and more thorough with the indictment process, because innocent people are being sent to these games where innocent people are being put on death row. Honestly, the host is right. If he never took part in the games, nobody would have known for sure that he was innocent. Of course, they didn't have to believe what he said to Joy, but he had a chance to say it and for the whole world to hear it. Maybe the Jurassic Games were also a measure put in place so that people wouldn't riot. And of course, people were still rioting over this, but maybe people, after a while, got upset and fed up with people not having justice served. Somebody staying in jail and enjoying their life in jail with their friends, and then just giving the death sentence, and it's over in 5 minutes, when everybody else that they caused pain has to still deal with that pain for years after. Probably seemed unfair to the general public, and that's how everyone signed off on this. Things like this don't happen. They don't come to fruition unless it's something that the people want. So it really goes to show that the power really lies within the people, and the host was right. It's not him. He's not the enemy. This is what the people want. They're the ones buying the merch for Jurassic Games. They're the ones tuning in and laughing and enjoying this. If the people were in an uproar about this and they didn't want it, the general populace would have committed an uprising, and the games would have not even have made it to screen. At least not worldwide. At least I believe this is worldwide. Maybe it's only countrywide, but this wouldn't have happened without the consent of the people. So it was a decent movie. Was it amazing? No. But the story and the premise and the concept, it was actually very gratifying, and I hope they make something like this modernized. I hope they actually make something similar to Jurassic Games with just a bigger production value. I honestly thought I was going to go in making fun of making fun of this movie. And I actually left feeling like I had questions. I actually felt like I wanted to have a discussion about it. And that usually doesn't happen a lot with low-budget movies. So that's my honest review about this movie. What did you guys think about it if you've seen it? And if you guys haven't seen it, is this something you'd want to see? I mean, it's pretty much spoiled for you now. But is this something you would be interested in seeing? Maybe not this particular movie, but another concept like this, but with higher production value. Well, let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching. This has been Altiori. You ask, we answer.